Hey everyone, Emmanuel here. I want to talk to you guys in this week's podcast about something I've kind of coined because in thinking about it, I kind of came up with a term, open curiosity. And in many cases, when we're training, okay, it doesn't matter what. I mean, I train in martial arts, and other people train in other sports or other hobbies that they have. You want to do these things with what I call open curiosity. And if I can give you some analogies that might help you kind of take your training to a deeper level, because what I found is it's irrelevant what we do, but what we do with what we do is very important. It's funny what we do with what we do. Anyway, so let me explain some analogies about open curiosity. Think of it like checking the wind. So I don't know if any of you have ever checked the wind, but if you're a sailor or if you an outdoorsman of some sort, usually you stop to check the wind every once in a while, and you realize that you know the wind, but you need to check it all the time, and depending on what you're doing and the frequency. But I would say sailors check it a lot, right? And they do it a couple of ways, right? First, they stop and they feel, and then they kind of take their bearings. They might watch a tree or a flag blowing, and then once they get the idea, then like, okay, what's the intensity of this wind, or what's the effect, or what's the severity, or what's the direction, or how fast is it? And you realize that you know the wind, but it changes moment for moment. These things change, and you gotta, you pause when you check the wind. There's a moment you just stop and you get real quiet, and you look. You maybe try to get a direction. You're looking, you're thinking, you're feeling, like all your senses are heightened for just a moment. You quiet them so you can feel all of them at the same time and make a decision. Um, Imagine if people did that, let's say for myself in martial art training, when they're training in Sistema, if they just stop for a moment and with open curiosity, take a gauge of what's going on. So it might not be the wind, it might be their emotional level. Maybe they're getting angry, maybe they're getting upset, maybe they're getting frustrated. Just take a moment to quiet yourself and just gauge everything, just like you do the wind. You know the wind, but you don't say, "Oh, I know the wind," and forget about it for today. You're constantly checking it. You're constantly going back and checking that you've got it right, because the wind changes. It doesn't have any, it can change very quickly. And I've come to realize that about certain lakes actually have very dangerous winds, right? Other lakes, not so much. So it's different lake to lake, place to place. So, and class to class, it's different. As a teacher, I normally check those things in terms of the energy of the room and how that is going. So I have open curiosity to this. I don't know how things will go. I just know that I'll be open to it and curious to see what's going to happen. Um, if you can cultivate this in your hobbies and in your training, you'll stay away from the biggest problem, which is kind of like a know-it-all attitude, or one I see a lot, people comparing, like they start to compare one person to another person, compare, one skill set. Oh, this guy's better than this guy, or this guy's better than this guy. It's nauseating in martial arts, really. It's one of the most frustrating things. It has less to do about those things and more about what you have to learn, okay? And instead of wasting your time comparing, judging, these kind of things, take the time to just have open curiosity. And with every person I interact with, I have the same open curiosity. I'm looking to see what they can teach me, or what they have to share with me, or what we have to understand together. There's this open curiosity that it doesn't matter who you are, I can learn so much, right? And in many cases, we learn things bit by bit. I see something over here. Hey, oh, I learned something wonderful. And over here, oh, I learned something. That's wonderful. Oh, I shared something. So there's open curiosity in abundant in my life. I don't spend too much time in know-it-all places, right? I know some things, but I'm open to maybe that they've changed, right? It's like I know the wind, but it could change. right? Anybody that is a sailor understands it can do some unpredictable things, the weather. You know, I've seen the water go from calm blue skies in 10 minutes later to a fog you can't see 10 feet in front of you in 10 minutes. Like it went from clear to disaster. And the same in martial arts. I've seen clear classes and then boom, one person explodes and we have a different dynamic in class. So I'll leave you with that idea, and maybe as you're training or as you're going through your life, have this idea of an open curiosity to your being. Very special to cultivate that in your life. It'll be more fruitful. You'll be happier to do it this way. It really is. It builds a different kind of mood, right? And it's to me one of the keys that has allowed me to rediscover the things that I know and continually grow and do them for 20, 30 years. You know, I'm still as curious because I'm an open curiosity. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, everybody. I will see you next week with another episode. Take care.